Hey everyone, my name is Christy. Welcome to my corner. Thank you all so much for joining me today for Historical Baking episode 8, I think. Today I want to take you along and back into the 1940s to the Scandinavian Recipes cookbook, and in particular we're going to be making kranser, which means wreaths. They're basically a wreath butter cookie. But before we get to that, I want to welcome all my new subscribers. Thank you all so much for joining me on my crafting and artistic and baking adventures. And welcome back, everyone who has been hanging out with me. Thanks for sticking around and your comments and your encouragement. And it's just been really wonderful getting to know you all in the comments on YouTube and also on Instagram. And if you're not following me on Instagram, you can find me at Dr._Christy. I'll put that right here. And, follow me there. I post pictures of my works in progress, my embroidery works in progress, my baking that I do that I don't film, which is actually quite a lot. I post pictures of my dog, and he's adorable. I always try to lure you to Instagram with my dog, and then I haven't posted a picture of him in a while, so I may have to go post a picture of my dog on Instagram today. He's adorable. Yeah, so if you're interested in seeing kind of what I'm doing on a day-to-day basis, it's just kind of my social place. So it's nothing really super exciting. It's just kind of my life. You can find me at Dr._Christy, and I'd love to have you hang out with me there. This is a channel about embroidery and baking and history and other textile crafts and the history of all of those things. So if that is something that is interesting to you and you are not subscribed, I'd love to have you subscribe and be a part of my community here on my little corner of my kitchen and also the internet. So anyway, back to baking. So we're making kranser, and this is unfortunately not going to be a lot of history. It's going to be mostly baking because it's Monday and Christmas is on Friday, and this is kind of my baking day, and I thought I'd just take you along for the ride. I don't remember if I already said that. This is my second time recording my intro, so I may be repeating myself. This Scandinavian Recipes book was given to me by my grandmother, and we used to bake these cookies together. And my favorite Norwegian cookies were the kranser cookies, the wreath cookies. And I've been calling them Berliner Kranser, but I think we used to make two different kinds of kranser cookies at my grandmother's house. The Berliner Kranser uses hard-boiled egg yolks, and I definitely remember hard-boiled egg yolks. But I also remember cookies that use sour cream in them, and I love those. And those are the kranser. So there's Kranser, and then there's Berliner Kranser, and so you can see here. And it was Berliner Kranser 2 that I was thinking I was probably going to do, but then I decided I wanted to do the sour cream one. So I might do Berliner Kranser another time with the hard-boiled egg yolks, but not today. Yeah, and I was trying to think about what I wanted to say in my introduction, and I was going to tell you that these were my favorite Christmas cookies growing up. But then I remembered my stepmom's cutout cookies with the icing, and those are definitely my favorite. And then I was thinking about my cousin's candy cane mint cookies, and those are definitely my favorite. So it may just be that I really like Christmas cookies a lot. And I don't know, I'm not seeing my family this year, and so I won't be getting those favorite cookies of mine. But I have this recipe, and I also have the recipe for those mint cookies that my cousin makes. I may have to make some of those too. I don't know. We'll see. Anyway, you're here for the Berliner Kranser, or you're here for the Kranser, so we're gonna make that. I have all my ingredients laid out here. I have a half a cup of sour cream already in the mixer, and we're using the mixer because, again, I don't have a lot of time. I've already baked 2 loaves of bread today, and I have 2 more loaves rising, and then I have to make 2 more tonight for tomorrow, so it's a lot of baking today. And then I have to make French macaron today too. Yeah, it's a busy day for baking for me. So I'm using the mixer just to speed things up. Half a cup of sour cream, a cup of sugar, 4 cups of flour, 4 egg yolks, 2 sticks of butter, so that's a half a pound or a cup of butter, and then half teaspoon of baking soda. 4 egg yolks. I don't know if I said 4 egg yolks. I also have a little bit of egg white for an egg white wash to stick the sprinkles on. So these are just colored sugar crystals to make it more festive, because that's what we did, right? I also have a cup of tea because it's Christmas baking. And with Christmas baking, you need a cup of spiced tea, I feel. Well, let's read the method. first. Read the method first. So you blend the cream and the sugar together. So the cream's in there and then the sugar. And then add the rest of the ingredients. Now, my butter's cold. It did not say that it wanted warm butter. And the Berliner Kranser, the Berliner Kranser recipes use cold butter. And so I'm assuming that this, again, is just a butter cookie, so it's going to use cold butter. So I have cold butter. Turn out on board and knead thoroughly. I'll probably do that in the mixer because who has time? Shape into a long roll. As for icebox cookies, I didn't look up icebox cookies, but it's just like a snake, a dough snake, right? Slice it and roll it into wreaths, and then bake in a hot oven. The hot oven, I'm gonna do 400 degrees for about 10 minutes. I did do a little bit of research before I started this process, and because of that, and some Berliner Kranser recipes, I couldn't find Kranser recipes, but Berliner Kranser recipes bake at 375 or 400 for 10 to 12 minutes. Maybe I'll do 375. I think I'll do 375. My oven runs hot. And that's essentially what I'm going to be making today. So yeah, I'm not going to have history for you. I'm just going to be chatting. I hope that's okay. It'll mostly be mixing. So let's get started. Oh, just as a little aside, my grandmother used to run a bed and breakfast out of her home. She has a beautiful home. They have a beautiful house out in the country on a mountain and a farm in central Pennsylvania. And they used to have a bed and breakfast and a winery. And the best dip for fruit, in my estimation, better than cream cheese dip, is sour cream, sugar, and vanilla, and a little vanilla extract. So there's a hot tip for you if you're looking for something to dip your fruit into. A sweet sour cream dip is pretty delicious. I think I'm gonna do wet ingredients first. I feel like that's how I often bake, and that makes sense to me. So that's what I'm gonna do. And now we add the flour and let it knead until it's really well mixed. Yeah, and I had mentioned this when I made the krumkake. If you haven't seen that recipe, I'll put that over here. I think it's going to be right here. But a lot of my Christmas memories are baking with my grandmother. And like I said, it was her book that she got as a kid in 47. And this one wasn't one that we made every year. We didn't make Berliner Kranser or Kranse every year. But I always loved it, and I always kind of wanted to. That was my favorite. That's what I wanted to eat. You can really smell the sour cream in this, and I don't know, the sourness just kind of, I feel, gives it like a depth of flavor. And one of the things I love about these old kinds of cookies is that they're not as sweet as modern cookies, and I feel like they have more flavor. And I would like to add that the recipe for these Kranse includes cardamom, but we never put cardamom in them, and so I'm not putting cardamom in them now. We do put cardamom in the krumkake, which I did, but not in these, and so not that I ever remember anyway. So I'm not putting it in. I think I'm just gonna mix it up a little bit more, and then it's probably done. I think this is gonna be a quick one, guys. In fact, I may actually turn it out on the board and knead it a bit, because it's just kind of getting stuck in the paddle, whatever it's called, the paddle. But I'm making these, I'm making them for us because I love them. And again, I kind of have to make all my own Christmas cookies this year, which, I mean, is fine. But I am missing my stepmom's sugar cookies, I have to say. And I may have to make those candy cane cookies that my cousin makes. I need to find the recipe. Again, it's all about keeping your joy, right? And in a very strange holiday season. And I really, really want to maintain my joy. We decorated our Christmas tree last week maybe, and it made me really sad actually to decorate it with the Christmas music, because, and I think I mentioned this in my floss tube, but we only decorate the Christmas tree when we're not going back. And I have missed the actual day of Christmas, but I've never not seen my family during the Christmas season. And you know, I'm not religious and my family's not religious, so the day for me isn't as important, but it is a time when I actually get to spend time with family members whom I don't usually see because I live very far away. And I just got sour cream all over my hand. Hold on, I need to wipe off my hand. I'm back, I'm gonna clean this up. Anyway, like I was saying, I don't remember what I was saying, something about visiting my family. But I definitely miss them, right, at this time of the year. As many of you, most of you, all of you know, I'm a college professor. And so I really only have time to travel during breaks. And so I only see my family twice a year. And an important time for that is Christmas. So I think I don't really need this much. This feels really mixed. This feels really mixed up. Anyway, so that's where this cookie baking and crumb cracker baking and maybe peppermint wreath baking. I mean peppermint candy cane cookie baking, which just is shaped like a candy cane, but it's not, and it's lightly minted flavored. But some of these are going to friends. I'm trying to keep my local community together, and I'm welcoming new people into my local community because we have new faculty who are coming in who seem really cool, and it's a hard time, I think, for new faculty who don't know anybody and we're not really meeting in person. And so basically I'm making baked baskets, like goodie baskets for everyone that I'll drop off at their house just to, I don't know, let them know that I'm thinking about them and that they are loved, right? I think that's really important during this time to maintain our community when we can't see each other, and I think that can be kind of difficult. So each basket will have a loaf of bread, a cookie of some kind. Right after this, I'm going to make some French macaron, which is like my specialty. Maybe some kranser, depending on who it's for, and a little gift in a little Christmas basket. So I'm dropping those off on people's porches in the next couple days. Anyway, and that's where some of this is going to, but it's also going for us because I love them. All right, I think this is really well mixed, and I'm going to say that this is done. So I'm going to kind of clean up my space here and make room. I think I'm going to chill this actually for a while. I think I'm going to wrap it up and chill it for about an hour in the fridge, and then we'll come back and make some wreaths out of it. I think that's the plan. So I will see you in an hour, but for you it will only be a blink of an eye. Okay, we're back. It has been considerably longer than an hour. I've walked the dog, we've had dinner. You know, life gets in the way. I have 2 loaves of bread here that have been baked for gift baskets for tomorrow. I have 2 loaves loafing up. I have more sourdough starter feeding, and so after I record this, it's just a baking day. So, but now we're here for Kranser, and here is my dough. I have a, bread scraper cutter thingy in plastic. And essentially what you just need to do is cut it up into pieces and roll it into I call them dough snakes. I don't know what you all call them. I call them snakes. And make them into wreaths. And then you have I have 2 pans here, which you can't see, but I have 2 pans here. Once I make them into wreaths, I will brush them with egg white, put a little sprinkle on them to make them festive, and then pop them in the oven. The oven is set to 380. I was gonna do 270, sorry, I was gonna do 375, but I think 380 is probably better, and our oven cooks hot, like I said. So that it'll essentially be a almost 400 degree oven for about 10 minutes. And I think that it should work. I have more pans in the wings if I need more pans. This feels like a lot of dough. This may be a lot of Kranser. Yeah, so let's do that. My dog and I had a good walk, and I organized all of my Christmas goodie bag deliveries. You know, in the time of COVID, you need to, I don't know, you need to work a little bit harder to make sure that your communities stay intact. And so I do that by bringing my friends food on a regular basis. And it makes me feel like I am maintaining my community. It makes my friends feel like I love them. It's all around a very good thing. Now my snake, I think I want it to be, that's gonna break, I knew that. What is that? That's sort of the size of my, a little bit smaller, like a pencil. I want it like a pencil. And then you put it into, you make it into a little wreath. See? The wreath. I think that they'll be lovely, and I'm very pleased with how this is turning out. I'm happy to have you all with me, so I have someone to talk to while I'm doing this. Basically, you just make these little wreaths. So I'm going to continue to make these wreaths, not force you to listen to me chatting about random things. And I'll show you when we start sprinkling them and then we'll bake them. Okay, they are all wreathed up, and I have you tilted down so you can see. And basically, I just have some egg whites here, and I'm just going to brush them quickly with egg whites, just so that the sprinkles will stick. Give them a little egg wash. And I have a ton left. This is my second tray, and I think I'm just going to wrap up the other block right there and maybe make them tomorrow, just because there's no need to make them all right now since both trays have this many, and I feel like that plus macarons is, plus a loaf of bread, is a pretty good little friend gift. Problem is that I'm right-handed, so this, you can see better. You can see better. But my aim is not, well, my aim's just as good. My aim wasn't very good with my right hand either. So we do green on the wreathy part, and then we'll do a little splash of red. I have the other tray in the fridge, so that is cooling, because we don't want them to spread too much. I'll put that in some foil, not foil, in some plastic wrap. This piece. And I will make more later in the week when I'm not feeling so, I don't know, when I don't have so much to do. That'll be a nice little break from stitching, I think. So here we have our finished little wreaths, which I think are lovely. I will put these and the other ones into the oven for 10 minutes and check on them and see how they're doing. And I will show you, I'll bring you back here when they're all done. All right, they look perfect. I'm gonna pull them out of the oven, and they may have gotten a little cooked on the bottom. Well, we'll see. If they're terrible, I'll make new ones, but they look pretty good and they smell good too. Well, they're done, and they turned out pretty good. There are some of them that are a little overcooked. I think when I make my next batch, I'll leave them in for 8 minutes. Some of the sugar burned. Some of the sugar that didn't land on the cookies burned. And so some of them have a little burnt sugar on the bottom, which isn't, I mean, I think they're delicious anyway, and I'll pick out the good ones for my friends tomorrow. But I feel like this and a loaf of bread and like a little candle is an excellent gift for friends in a little Christmas basket.
Voiceover Christy here. I just wanted to let you know that I did actually remake the batches the next day, and this is the result, and they're so much better. And basically, I cooked them at 375. I should have gone with my gut and stayed with 375 instead of 380, and I cooked them for about 8 minutes, and they're basically perfect. They are very little brown because these cookies aren't supposed to be brown. They're nice and soft, and they are great with a cup of coffee.
Anyway, that's it from me from my kitchen corner here. I still have baking to do tonight. I'm gonna eat some more of these cookies because they're delicious and I love them. I think next time I make them I might put some vanilla extract in them just to give them a little depth of flavor. But overall, they make me really happy and they are adorable. That's it from me. Thank you all so much for joining me today for this episode of Historical Baking with no history in it other than the fact that it's an old recipe, and the 80s are history these days when I grew up making these with my grandmother. If you enjoyed this and want to see more episodes of Historical Baking that actually have history in them, please feel free to subscribe. I'd love to have you join my community, and with all that being said, please take care of yourselves and have a good one. Bye!